Okay, hello my fellow Web3 OGs, crypto luminaries, and all friends of blockchain in Korea and Southeast Asia and Eastern Asia. Thank you for joining the event today. I know that you guys have been waiting a long time to network in further detail, eat food. We'll be very quick, don't worry. I'll start with a very brief introduction of each speaker in Fireside Chat to panelists, and then also they will share a story about their time in the Web3 space, globally, in whether it be Hong Kong, Singapore, Korea, or beyond. So first we'll start story time with our good friend here.
Hi, my name is Peter. I've had a story just then already. But another story I'd like to share is 2015. That was the bear market after 2013, and Ethereum was just out for a while, and I started mining it, and we didn't know what we were doing. But the great thing was at the time you could buy GPUs from Taobao, and they had this promotion where you could return it after 6 months, right, for the same price. So we bought a whole bunch, and that was great. We managed to build an Ethereum farm, and within 3 months the price rallied, and with like 500 GPUs we managed to expand to 2,000 and sell all of it all at once. I think the great thing about it now is looking at the market now. I think AI coming will be a great user of GPU, which I'm getting into now. I'm building a small GPU base. Hopefully I'll be able to repeat that, but fingers crossed.
Wonderful, thank you very much, Peter. Okay, moving on to Mr. Soso. I'm sorry, Yoon. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Zheng. I'm the founder of H.E.R. We host offline physical exhibitions for NFTs to give the benefit of appreciation. I'm also the founder of Alicia, it's an RWA protocol. I have a funny encounter with BCH. This was back in, I think, December 2017. We were driving to the East Coast, the Soso, and at that time, BitcoinCash was pumping crazy because it just got listed on Bitsum. I think it was Bitsum. I don't think they had a beat yet. And it was pumping crazy, and I really wanted to sell, but it wouldn't let me sell because there was so much traffic. So I stopped in the middle of the freeway with my pregnant wife, and I stopped the car, got out immediately, and tried to sell it as much as possible. My wife still talks about it to this day, and it always was a resurrection of how desperate I was, and also exciting back in the days. And so great to be here, great to talk here with the Bitcoin Cash community. Thank you.
Thank you, Yoon. I can tell you're quite the DJ. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to Mr. Noah.
Hello, I'm head of Coworkers. My name is Noah, and then I build Web3 community. Its name is DOKDO. We are doing incubating, and then we are doing sometimes study together. And then I want to explain about the Web3 story of the scammer. So usually it's Korea. Many people thinking Korea is a crypto market is a very big market, but actually I think 90% is a scam. Yeah, because many projects is usually Korean market is have their kimchi premium and a lot like Luna, Terra. so usually I think most important is Web3 market is a platform. So we have to show our platform, and then consider how develop, consider how getting the user. Yeah, it is the best important thing. So everybody wants to study more Web3 and then check their platform.
Thank you very much, Noah. He has a very good experience with many Web3 NFT DeFi products in Korea, so when he says there are a lot of scams, please believe him. Also stay positive. There are other good projects beyond. There's many scams of Asia for the Web3 business. Okay, moving on to Jessica, or a.k.a. Invisible Gang Boss.
Yeah, how you doing, everybody? I'm Invisible Gang Boss. Yeah, I was joking. I'm Jessica Lee, going by Zheng in Korean name. I'm 100% Korean, born and raised in South Korea. And I'm currently volunteering as an organizer in H.E.R. H.E.R. is a women-focused DAO for female developers. But it is not only limited to female. So if you're a developer or like founder in Web3 who are interested in getting grants or getting into hackathons, please feel free to like follow H.E.R. on Twitter, X, or Google us and like Google or whatever. Like you can find us on like everywhere. And my first encounter with Web3 was a like fitness. There's a like fitness club called Up First, which is a basically small M2E club. If you finish like workout mission, you can get a like some like tokens and coins or in exchange. And that's why I'm into DeFi, because M2E didn't work at all for me, because like fitness itself like was like so fun for me. So I'm kind of like exploring the world of like DeFi right now. And then I'm staying in Korea, especially in a hacker house called Immersion House from Nons, which is a like one of the like Genesis hacker house, the foundation of Web3 in South Korea. And then I'm relocating in a couple of months to Singapore or Hong Kong to find out my new opportunities in DeFi, especially like crypto payments. Yeah, happy to meet you guys all.
Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to the wonderful Miss Jenny.
Hello, my name is Jenny, and I currently work as the Bybit NFT Marketplace BD manager. So if you guys have a really great NFT project, feel free to look for me on Twitter. Just search my name, Jenny Zheng, and then drop me a message, and maybe send me a deck. So like, yeah, I've been in crypto for like 5-6 years. I've been in a project. I was like one of the core member of a crypto project back in 2017, 2018. And then I also worked in crypto media, and now I work for a crypto exchange. So yeah, so I kind of like this experience to give me this like full picture of this whole industry. To share a little story of Web3, you know, Yoon's story was like really interesting. I have something similar. You know, during the 2020, the DeFi summer, you know, everybody's dropping each other, you know, the secret key signal, you know, buy this right now, and it will pump, you know.
That was like Wall Street.
Yeah. So once like I was like driving in Seoul, like it's not a highway, but it's also dangerous. And somebody would call me and say, "Oh, buy this. This is a new coin coming out. It's a meme." So I just you know park the car on the side of the road and buy the coin at the moment. So it was like extremely dangerous, but I made some money on that, so no regrets. So a lot of people, you know, they are like saying that I think it's too late to get into Web3 because, you know, Bitcoin has already, you know, increased that much. Like even I buy now, I cannot earn much. I'll say there are always new opportunities coming out like every year. You can have like the ICO premium during the 2017, 2018. And then it's the IEO, IDO, and also the DeFi summer. And if even you get into Web3 like early 2022, you can still catch the NFT trend, right? You can still make a lot of money. I'm sure there will be like new things coming out, like this year or next year. There are always new things coming out. So just keep alert and maybe pay attention to those like huge KOLs, influencers, great influencers like Soso, and maybe join more DAO to get yourself educated and informed of the new trend to make the money. Okay, so.
Thank you so much, Shin, for sharing your background, your story. I'm very happy to see that you're willing to risk your life for the digital bag. So really good for you. Okay, moving on now to Mr. Soso.
Hello, I'm Soso. I'm the guy who win the quiz first place. Actually, it's not fair that I'm winning. So yeah, actually, I don't need to get it. Please give it to the sixth person. By the way, I started crypto in 2017, I think, when the Ethereum popped a lot at that time. Actually, not many people know about one day in 2017, May 27, Ethereum market cap was higher than Bitcoin. Only about 1 hour, I think. So in the coin market cap, you cannot find it. At that day, I started crypto, and I was a medical doctor at the time, but I changed as a crypto YouTuber in Korea, one of the first generation. And after that, I founded a crypto capital named Blockcrafters, and now I'm working in the Bifrost, which is a layer 1 solution in Korea. It's a EVM-compatible, but our main focus is connecting chains together, including Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, of course. So we are focusing still connecting several chain and make value on this. So yeah.
Thank you, Soso. I think we all have a question for you, Soso. Why did you change your career or business pathway from becoming a doctor to a crypto OG?
So medical doctor is more local job. So I know the local people. I worked in a very specific local area named Jirisan in Korea. I don't know how many people know about it. I work in a place like Sancheong. So the town I lived, only 50 families living.
Wow.
And the average age was about 70. So yeah, it's a very good life in the local life, but I wanted to do something that I can change.
Be a global man.
Yeah, more changing and give some effort to changing the world. Yeah, so crypto is better in that side.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Very interesting story. Okay, moving on to our last panelist in the corner, Eric.
Before I introduce myself, can I just ask you, do you regret it ever? Do you regret it ever? Ever?
Yeah, when Ethereum was under $80, that was late 2019. I had a sort of regretting, but that was actually only 1 month, so it's, yeah, except that I was always okay, I think, yeah.
Hi, my name is Eric Choi. I'm the CEO and founder of Diant. Diant, like digital giant shortened. We are a Web3 venture studio based in Seoul. I've been in crypto for 8, 9, going on my 9th year, I think, pretty soon. Got in very early, obviously did not keep my Bitcoin. I think my most interesting story of crypto will go back to the kimchi premium days, not gonna lie. So while he was managing ATMs where people would come to him for the whole kimchi premium, I was flying back duffel bags of cash to Japan, anywhere between like $500,000 to $1.5 million at a time, because, well, I could land, they could deposit it into a bank, put it into Bitflyer, and then send it over, and before I checked into my hotel room, you generate anywhere between like, I don't know, 12 to 50. I think the most I've ever made on a trade was 53% on the premiums. Sadly, I'm on the opposite side of the computer. Those days will never come back, ever. Crypto's just grown too much, I think, for that. Although that'd be great. Yeah, we're focused on, we recently launched superchief.io, which was the world's first NFT gallery based in LA and New York. We are currently partnered with Uncommon Gallery as well, in a sister gallery relationship, and yeah, I run a 10-person team that's focused on product development here.
Eric, a very interesting story. Sounds super legal and sketchy, but I guess you're still here and alive, not in prison. So really good for you. Oh, okay, everybody, please a round of applause for our speakers before we move on to the next part of the panel. Okay, so since we have a very diverse dichotomy of panelists today for our fireside chat, I want to break out into discussion about some of the latest trends in the Web3 space. Currently in the market, also what we're able to see into the next 3 to 5 years in the future, right? So maybe we can start the conversation with the topic of STO, right? So I know that a couple of panelists here today have interest in STO. So what are your thoughts, panel, about STOs in Korea, globally, or in the market of your choice?
Yeah, let me grab this for a second. So before doing free space, I co-founded a project called H.E.R. We started in 2018, back when RWAs were called STLs. We've been tokenizing real estates in different forms, and kind of imitating the traditional financial system of securities. And we've been doing that for 4 years. Our AUM right now is around 20 million. The way I see it now, like every year, every cycle, the Korean government would actually try to impose some type of guidelines to facilitate the use of tokens for assets with small liquidity or less liquidity. They've been failing every year, every time. This year, we thought it would be different. And the government actually had a really specific guideline last year to highlight what the issues were, how they want to interpret it. But the thing is, the exact guideline that they imposed last year was based off of the script that the financial committee wrote back in 2018. So nothing's really changed, and I feel like there's going to be a lot more time. It'll take more time for Korea to actually bring this to the mainstream. At the same time, in Korea, I think there's a demand for RWA in Korea or in global these days, and I'm very optimistic about it. For example, at H.E.R right now, we're trying to we have a DeFi protocol to swap these different assets, whether it's real estate or account receivables. So we do treasury T-bills and stuff like that. So, but it's still in the early stages. So we're still trying to find new players in the industry who are very serious about this and try to do it in a more decentralized and permissionless way. And we're going to continue to work for this and hope for the best.
Great insight. Thank you for sharing. And anybody else, STO, insights or predictions?
Hong Kong has an STL market. We haven't improved much. But looking at it, I think STOs in general are given by the Futures and Commission security side of stuff, right? And I think it's likely to use that to cut into the monetary authority or the banking side, right? So likely debt, right? How are we going to cut debt? So it'll be interesting to see governments around the world, because it's normally like several bodies, to try to take money off the bankers. So you have the security guys trying to take the bankers' money. The second part, I think, is like alternative equities that maybe the SEC style don't want to touch, right? But you kind of have that already in the DEX market, right? And then maybe the third is commodity types. And this is more global, and it'll be very localized. But what I think is most interesting is, because this is very futuristic, it takes a while for the regulators to really allow the STO regulation to attack other types of asset classes that are already on fiat chain systems. And I think there's a market for pre-STO DEXs. I think that's what's most interesting, where we create pots or pools of assets that can list on maybe Hong Kong, maybe Korea, maybe US, and a whole lot of regulatory arbitrage. I think that's what's really interesting.
Very interesting to see the contrast between the RWA market in Korea/Singapore and Hong Kong. I do also personally believe that STOs in RWA in Korea will certainly change the market in a very bullish manner, and that will affect, of course, the crypto DeFi market as well, beyond, let's say, traditional security assets. Anybody else have any comments upon STO market, either in Korea or globally, before we move on to the next topic?
So I guess, to spell it out, we can kind of talk about where the Korean market's at existingly on STOs. The Korean market currently has a regulatory sandbox for STOs. There have only been 2 projects that have been approved. I believe they're approving the next 2 over the next month and a half. One of them is a company based that is co-working with Samsung called A.Lock. And basically what we're seeing within the space is that there's not enough people interested on a government angle to understand why to push this forward. at least for the securitization side. I feel like the government's more interested in how do we tax this at this current point in time, and they should be as a government. Governments are also private entities. But I feel like we can go back to what real world assets kind of are. I think people, when they talk about tokenizing of real world assets, are looking at real estate or gold or specified derivatives. But you made a good point here, which is that we're looking at now private equities markets and then private debt markets to see what complex financial product we can bring on chain, which is where like DeFi and STOs are kind of a very like parallel development in form, although DeFi is much underregulated. I feel like the most interesting part will be when private credit sector products hit the market. For example, like people who are investing within the crypto space in general are looking for shorter term returns. A private equity investment in general in financial traditional markets is 2 to 7 year expected returns. Private credit markets, although, are a little bit different because you're getting interest on the money as well. For example, private credit thing would be like if someone, a hotel company like, Marriott decided to build a hotel in Korea and they needed 60 million financing, and the actual land and the building itself was worth more than that, and they collateralized that, which would make it senior secured. And then basically allowing for whoever that is willing to take that opportunity on a senior secured loan and then be able to actually act as the creditor. I think those markets are coming very soon, especially with like JP Morgan and bigger players jumping into the game. I can state that Singapore and Hong Kong is much more advanced in a place for this than South Korea. But I feel like that landscape will change over the next 2 years.
Good insight, Eric. Yes, as a final comment for the STO topic, I believe that securities and other RWA investments are already a reality in the market. So I think just the education of why tokenizing such STO or securities or RWA is a need. More liquidity, faster transaction, more transparency, easier due diligence, and so on and so forth. So I think it has to come with education as well for each market of interest. Okay, moving on to the next topic. So I know that we discussed this already tonight in the previous panel and other discussions, but I'm curious what the panelists' thoughts are about how can we really use cryptocurrency and NFTs in the real world in a way where it's scalable, accepted by government, and is easy to access for Web2 users, or Web2-minded individuals and folks, whether it be in Korea, Singapore, Hong Kong, or other global markets?
Well, like actually, I've been trained to say something like positive for this panel talk before this session, because like
say what you will. Yeah, be frank.
I don't think it's gonna be possible in a decade in South Korea, because like it took over a couple of years to get like Apple Pay in this country. So like I recently traveled Southeast Asia, especially for the Token 2049, along with like Mongolia, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, and Malaysia. And then the one thing I found out is that like Korea has a well-developed economy, because it has like 10th biggest and well-developed economy in the world. Like, and the KRW was Korean won is especially a quite good currency. And we have a well-developed like social economy, social credibility systems, and like credit card systems. So like I don't think Korean economy, Korean government will gonna have that something called like mass adoption in our real life society in a decade. But like in like Southeast Asia, which is a like growing economy, who are in need of tokenizing or just like making that underground economy into the real economy for real. Looking at the for example, the H.E.R project, which happened just before in India, Venezuela, at that kind of market, like I think that Southeast Asia, Africa, that continent, like we can see the market in that continent first, and then after a decade, that will be the South Korea.
Good insight, Jesse. Thank you. Yes.
Sorry, I'm just very curious because so I agree with most of those statements, but I disagree with the fact that, so I agree with the statement in the fact that it's usually easier to come up with new infrastructure than replace existing infrastructure, right? which is why Korea, that's so technologically evolved, or in most countries that are first world countries in general, it'll be harder to have new infrastructure adoption because it involves getting rid of existing powers, right? But at the same point, if you look at Korea and what we did with the FIU during derivatives, so financial derivatives in Korea were illegal till 1997, although they've existed for decades before that. It only took a year and a half for us to adopt, and now we're the second biggest market in the world, which is insane for a country of 55 million people. I think Korea has this very, very interesting trait of overcorrecting. I think this can be in a good manner and a bad manner as well. But I think the overcorrecting in terms of adoption to technology, Korea does really well. But I feel like the issue with Korea, like, I think it's a cultural thing in a general sense. We're never first. We'll be second, but we'll never do something first.
Always benchmarking.
Always benchmarking. I mean, look at iPhone and Samsung, right? Like, let's be realistic here. The original idea came from the iPhone. Samsung just took it, put Android on it, and then made it their own, added different tweaks, made it open source, and now, you know, we have that market. I think there is a possibility that if there is, I think the role is basically placed on us, how loud we are, how much we can get people to adopt, because if you look at even the internet era, like, for example, all of you use the internet. How many of the people here, actually this is the wrong crowd to ask because you're all in tech, but how many people that are actually using the internet know what HTTPS is? Like, I would say 98% of the internet, or individuals who use the internet on a daily basis don't know. I think that's a layer that blockchain and crypto and NFT technology will become. I think we see it already happening. Kakao, Tada do their matching engines through a blockchain network. Ku, the COVID system, the entire bid system and the archives were on a POA blockchain network. I feel like we're already seeing it. It's just a matter of the fact that no one talks about the technology underlying layer of it, and everyone talks about where the money's at.
Thank you very much. How about from Soso? I know that Bifrost also has innovations currently into bringing Web2 users into the Web3 space. So what do you think about this transition?
So, yeah, I know Kakao or other insurance companies use blockchain technology, but we are not really interested in the technology. We are more interested in the price. So in the price effect, that is actually more private chain tech, or that's meaningless for the Web3 people as well. We are, so last month we announced AA wallet, so abstract wallet, so you can make your own private key. You don't need to hold a private key, you can just make your wallet with your Google or Discord email, and the private key is splitted and your phone or your laptop have sort of it. The service provider has a sort of it, and the server has sort of it. So it's split, so nobody holds a private key, only when the transaction made it, kind of stuff we are supporting. And after that, in 1 month, we get about 200,000 users, new users in our mainnet. So yeah, some Web2 users coming to Web3, I'm pretty sure of it, but it's take time. And other stuff we are preparing with the Korean government, like everyone said, Korean government is slow and they're always the second. Actually, second is not so bad, so, but normally they are lower than second. But we work in with Kika, which is one of the biggest Web2 KYC company, and we are just in the government adjustment for the Web3 KYC. So I thought about when the old black money in the Bitcoin cash wash trading and stuff like that, using the money with terrorism and kidnapping, trading. I thought the wallets will be split up with white wallet and black wallet. So white wallet will be, which is the KYC AML, and you can follow the money from the exchanges very clear. Black money will be most used as a tornado cash, stuff like that. So we don't know where which money come from and stuff like that. So we're supporting the KYC platform in the Web3, so everyone can do the kind of the idea. It's a soul-bound token basis. So that kind, you can split the wallets in the same Web3. There will be a white zone and a black zone, and in the white zone money is really more clear, and you can easily can trade it and stuff like that. So I think regulation, it's time period, but the technology itself are moving quite fast. So tech basis will be ready in, I think, about 1 or 2 years. I think we have the whole system ready. So it's more about the regulation. If the regulation is ready, we can just connect it in the Web2 AML. So the AML KYC will be much more easier. But I'm not sure, because I'm not the government, how fast the government will move.
I see.
Yeah. So for now, I think the foremost, the most line of the government, most aggressive is Japan right now. Japan government or Hong Kong government is most aggressive in the regulation, and it's a pretty good moving for the Web3.
Okay, wonderful. I think we're overall seeing a couple of different angles. Obviously, one is regulation, as Soso has mentioned. Number two being the market need. If the market that we're discussing is investing in infrastructure for financial, let's say, exchange and economy, then is there really a short-term need for crypto and NFT feasibility, right? Are there any final notes from the panel regarding this topic before we move on to the next point?
So like, can I add something? As a like perspective from a like product builder, the one thing that I've been like always wondering when we have been like talking about the thing called the mass adoption and the like users, I think it is like better to talk about the definition of the users. It's like when we're talking about layer 1 or layer 2, like whatever. What's different from like Web 2? Web 2 is I mean like what defines like Web 3 is that unique user ID does not define. It's not the same with the like unique wallet ID. So like users could be wallets, users could be like individuals, or users could be whales, or users could be just a mess. So before going to like talking about some other users or like go-to-market strategies, I think we need to define and specify the users. Yeah, from that's the like perspective from the builder side.
Very good point. Okay, thank you again, Jessica. Any last commentary, or shall we move on to the next? Okay, we can move on. So that will, I believe, wrap up our fireside chat tonight. I think we're all ready to have some more food and drinks. Are there any last-minute questions from the audience regarding these topics? Yes, please.
그냥 이야기하지만 피트 발표를 잘 들었는데 홍콩에서의 그 BCH ATM 머신 관련한 보도 영상을 봤는데요. 한국은 아마 그 ATM 머신이 STO보다 더 어려운 숙제가 될 수 있는데 혹시 피트의 어떤 비즈니스 관점에서 봤을 때 한국에 언제쯤 그게 설치가 가능한지.
Oh, if you have, if there's some place, I'm happy to install it. My third time in Korea, so I don't know.
Yeah, totally. There are already 1,800 ATMs in South Korea where you can directly withdraw cash every 70 months. Alright? Yeah.
Is that so?
Yeah. I don't know why this isn't marketed, but yeah.
아니 그게 BCH도 가능해요?
BCH, Bitcoin, Ethereum, 기본적인 것들은 다 가능합니다.
Doesn't seem like
I'll try it.
I'll try it.
upstairs. We should check it out after. Those over
There
there.
are fees for staking machines, etc.
Let's go together. We'll do a group trip. Oh, okay. Any further questions from the audience before we close the panel? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending the fireside chat, and thank you for your patience. Now we'll then roll over to the official BTCH cash giveaway.